Oh, now I feel good.
I'm just curious what each intern is going to end up doing in life. So far, they just appear to be with me.
Gange was complaining to me yesterday that he has no money.
Actually, Gange called me.
I pay him money. I pay him money all the time.
Gange called me at home last night. We had a big, half-hour discussion on his future.
Yeah, well, he wants...
Really?
He has no money. His father's got tons of money.
He told me that there are weeks that he has to exist on $1.
He's a liar. But I want to know. I know what money he makes.
From week to week.
He gets paid here, right?
Well, let me tell you something. Last night when Gange and I were on the phone, we were trying to decide, what he could be doing. I won't give away the exact figures. But you know what? I asked him what he took home for a month.
Yeah.
And, well, believe me, he's not a millionaire. It's decent money.
Yeah, but he's a spoiled brat.
When I was his age, I
grew up with tons of
like
money, and he has big expenses.
Also, what he said to me
was you don't understand with money until I was like 18 years old.
He doesn't pay
Put
rent.
on the headphones.
I know. You don't pay rent.
That's true.
You got to pay for your car. That's the only expense you have.
Which is a lot.
How much is that?
$287 a month.
And how much is your
insurance? Did you have to buy
but
didn't your father put the down payment on the car?
They gave me $5,000.
They give you $5,000. And
that wedding?
And you didn't need to get an expensive car.
It's not that expensive. It's a very expensive. It's a very moderately cheap.
Would you pay about 12 or 13 for it?
No.
And how much money do you make a week?
16 for a car.
You get a Hyundai for $5.
I looked at everything. Well, listen, I was driving in the city at the time, so I needed something that was going to get me.
All right,
back
fine.
And
So
forth.
60. So you pay $200. Why do you pay $200 a month? Why don't you just
$287 a month.
Why don't you make a smaller payment? And just
because you can only get you can only put it out over so many years.
High finance. Yeah, so that's your one expense. What's your other expense?
My car insurance, which is almost $3,000 a year.
Okay, what's your other expense?
I buy food for myself, which is about $25.
Oh, yeah, I saw what you buy for yourself. Your mommy makes your food for you. Your mommy makes your food for you. Your mommy makes your food for you. You don't have to buy any
food, and I make my food. What do you...
Every night in his mommy's house.
Why don't you go look at my...
And your mommy buys food.
No, my mommy buys food for my family.
Poor Gange, his daddy didn't give him a whole car.
You know what happened when he said, I've been working since I was 14, and I'm used to having money. And then I find out, he worked for his father, and his father gave him a big allowance for it.
Yeah.
Dude,
what did you do for your father?
I worked construction.
Construction?
I worked construction.
Construction. I worked construction.
Dude, I know you make decent. I don't say you make a ton of money. But I got to tell you something. He makes decent money.
I know what he brings home a month because we discussed.
What does he bring? What do you bring home a month? What's the big deal? What do you bring home a month?
I know he brings home. He takes home $1,000 a month.
All right, about that.
Yeah, and then you got $300 for a car and car insurance, and then you got
no. $300 for my car. Okay.
Right.
$287. All right.
Yeah.
$190 a month for just one insurance company. Let's say for insurance.
Your dad doesn't pay for insurance?
No way. Why the hell? You know what? I'm 24 years old. Why should my father pay for anything?
Hey, I don't think your father should be putting you in his house.
Right. I'm trying to get out of the house.
That still leaves you $530 a month. That's $470.
And God knows you don't have to buy condoms.
And then he says to me he can't afford to date. That's why he's not going out with anybody.
Oh, you mean you got to spend tons of money on a girl? Let me tell you something. When I dated Allison, she was lucky she got a sandwich. My father used to give me $100 a month when I was in college, and then as soon as I was out of college, he cut me off. That was the end of it. $100 a month I lived on.
Well, back then, that was a lot of money.
Back then? What do you think? It was 100 years ago?
Well,
$100 a month is a lot of money.
Bread and nickel.
What year are we talking about? 1976? 1976.
Yeah, back then. I was 6 years old.
Douche face.
At
1976, $100 a month was still nothing.
I don't know about that.
I'll tell you something, Howard. Gorilla makes no money at all. He has his own place, and he's having the time of his life.
Well, he pays. I mean, he goes to school, so he's got a dorm apartment. He pays $800 for a whole.
Why don't you sell your car?
Yeah, but you're dorming in your mother's house.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but I'm trying to get out of my mother's house. That's
but meanwhile, you should still have money.
Well, he addressed Steve, and he says he couldn't do what Gorilla does. He couldn't go out and have girls paying for him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you? No
I hadn't
kidding.
noticed that.
Why don't you take $200 a month and put it in a money market fund?
Because I don't even have $200 a month.
Well, whose fault is that?
Oh, now I feel good.
A guy like you really don't know what you want to do. You say you want to be in TV production. Why don't you talk to Scott Einziger? He's a producer.
I do.
Talk to John Ryber. John Ryber. Where's John Ryber? John, come in here and explain
John,
the
come
game.
in here.
John, help us out here. This is John Ryber, big producer at E, top producer, executive producer. Excuse me. I mean, you talk. Explain to him, how did you get into business?
Well, actually, I started like he did as an intern.
Okay, then what did you do?
television.
What was the next? In television. So do you want to be in television, Gange?
Yeah.
Oh, you do now?
Yeah.
You just went from
That's
radio
my
to
next
television.
step.
You spent 4 years in radio. Now you decided my next step is I want to go
So
intern
the
in
next
television.
step for you is another internship.
Yeah,
is
you
what
got to go
John
work for
said.
free for another 4 years in television. That's what John is telling you. Now, what did you do? Did you have Gary make calls for you? Is that how you got in television?
No, I was an intern and I got a job while I was there.
Because they recognize your ability.
Yeah, I guess so.
And now you're a big shot. That's it. They recognize his ability. We haven't recognized anything.
So you know what, Howard? Another problem with
I
this,
recognize your ability. I can try to give you some work.
a big problem with this show is that in a way we spoil the interns, and the way I mean that is everyone should be gone after 6 months. Somehow they stay long because they're comfortable, and it's fun to hang out with you, but they're wasting valuable years that they should be doing other internships.
Listen, the guy can work for me till he's 26, 27, have a lot of fun, and then go work for your dad. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.